Hello everyone, welcome to the next chapter in the turbulent love story between CEO James and Diep. After all the ups and downs, it seemed they could finally hold hands and weather the storms together, but no, once again, their love is put to the test. And this time, the storm doesn't come from the outside, but from someone who was once as close as family, Tùng. In today's video, we'll witness a calculated act of betrayal. James, misled by an anonymous message and a staged photo, misunderstands and believes Diep has betrayed him and fallen for Tùng. Diep, the innocent girl, is unaware that she's been drawn into a love game where she is both a pawn and a scapegoat for someone else's ambition. Tùng, who once secretly loved Diep, now stages a hero saving the beauty scene, stepping in to help her during a moment of danger, deliberately letting James witness the moment. What James doesn't know is that behind this whole act stands John, his old nemesis, secretly released from prison by Tùng and now turned into a pawn in Tùng grand scheme. How will James react when his trust in Diep is shaken? Will Diep be strong enough to uncover the truth? And Tùng, the one pushing James and Diep's love to the brink, will he achieve his goal? Join us in today's video to uncover all the secrets as they slowly unfold. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any part of this thrilling story. Since the day Tùng made up his mind to win Diep back, he was no longer the Tùng of the past. Gone was the loyal friend who once stood shoulder to shoulder with James during their difficult startup days. Gone was the man who once carried a silent, noble love in his heart. Tùng now was someone who would trample over any boundary, morality, honor, even a brotherhood once forged in blood. In his eyes now, Diep was not just the woman he loved, she was the symbol of triumph. The one thing that could bring James to his knees, and to execute his plan, Tùng turned to John. A name that once sent shivers through the business world. John, the man who once bathed in blood during a brutal turf war, nearly killed James, and was now serving time in an isolated prison with just a few phone calls, stacks of cash, and a promise of one final glorious act. Tùng pulled John back into the game. This time, it wasn't about money, it was about vengeance that still burned in John's chest. John walked out of prison with one mission: drag James into hell. Silent, ruthless, and relentless, he became the blade in Tùng hand, ready to pierce through anyone who stood in their way. Tùng chose the perfect moment when James was away on a long business trip. With foreign partner, Stowe approached Diep, using the excuse of checking in on an old friend. He began showing up frequently, subtly inserting himself into her life with words that were both sweet and laced with implication. He tried to plant seeds of doubt. James has changed a lot lately. Are you sure he's still fully devoted to you? I don't want to interfere. I just can't bear to see you all alone. Diep was touched, but she held firmly to her faith in James. Still, Tùng didn't stop. He carefully orchestrated coincidental situations, then quietly released a photo of James sitting beside a female business partner accompanied by an anonymous message. Diep began to waver, not because she stopped loving James, but because the doubts Tùng had planted were beginning to take root. Tùng had planned everything in advance, every step, every detail meticulously calculated. He had someone track Diep's schedule and chose the perfect spot: a deserted street on a rainy afternoon. No cameras, no passersby. Just as Diep left work, a strange man rushed in and snatched her handbag, deliberately causing her to fall onto the road. He didn't steal anything. His goal wasn't theft, it was panic. Shaking, Diep fumbled to call James, her voice trembling with fear. But James at that very moment was stuck in traffic due to a sudden road incident. Completely unaware that this was all a trap, he picked up the call, heard Diep's sobbing voice on the line, and rushed to get to her, only to be blocked by a group of thugs who staged a fake accident and provoked a scene. Every path to Diep was cut off. And just when Diep was about to collapse from fear, Tung appeared. He rushed in like a hero, kicking the robber who was, in fact, his own henchman, and took a staged blow meant to miss. Then staggered and collapsed into her arms. It was all an act. The scratches were fake makeup. The blood on his shirt came from red ointment, and those tearful eyes, he had practiced them for hours in front of the mirror. Diep, never having faced such a terrifying scene, was completely shaken. She held Tung, worried sick, and took him home. She cleaned his wounds, asked if he was okay, and in that brief moment, her heart softened as if she was seeing again the friend who once silently protected her. She didn't love Tung, but gratitude, guilt, and a pang of remorse for once overlooking someone who had always been by her side, all of it made Diep more vulnerable than ever. She cared for him like family. Every fake wound was gently cleaned and carefully bandaged. She cooked porridge, prepared his medicine, fluffed his pillow, doing it all with the heartfelt gratitude of someone who had just been saved from danger. Every time Tung winced in pain, she immediately rushed to check on him. Her eyes overflowed with appreciation without a trace of doubt. "Please rest. Thank you, truly. Thank you for saving me." Tung gave a slight nod, eyes still closed, but inside, a storm was brewing. Everything was going exactly as he had planned. Diep had brought him home, tended to him, and most importantly, now saw him as her savior. Just one more step, and he could walk into her heart, not through love, but through the weight of a debt she felt she owed. But fate, cruel as ever, brought James back that afternoon after seeing Diep's missed call. He had rushed to find her, and now James stood frozen. Before him was a sight he could barely believe. Diep, gently tending to Tung, her delicate hands placed over another man's chest. Her face was filled with worry, her eyes warm. Every gesture, every closeness between them was enough to make James's heart ache. Tung, the deceiver, still wasn't finished. He unconsciously tilted his head, letting it rest lightly against Diep's shoulder, a small act, but like a blade through the heart of the man standing behind the door. James turned away. Not a word, not even a sigh, only his heart shattered, broken by the very woman he loved more than anything in the world. So it was all just a dream, wasn't it? Has Diep really changed? He thought, a bitter smile flickering across his cold, pale face. He walked away, vanishing into the night like a man with no soul, carrying with him a heart heavy with doubt, pain, and despair. Behind him, Tung, having noticed James leave, wore a smug, satisfied smile. He turned to Diep and gently said goodbye, leaving her in the dark about the storm he had just unleashed. As for Diep, she still had no idea what had just happened when she called James. All she heard was the cold, unending dial tone. Her messages went unanswered. Her calls were declined. She didn't understand. All she could do was clutch her phone and whisper through trembling lips, "James, where are you? Why won't you answer me? I miss you." Tears fell. Her heart tightened, yet she still waited, unaware that James, somewhere out there, was quietly breaking. He was in pain, torn apart by the image that haunted his mind. The woman he loved in someone else's arms. So will Tung succeed in stealing back Diep's heart? Will James walk away forever or uncover the truth behind the elaborate charade? And Diep, the girl with a heart full of love and trust. Who will she choose between two men who were once like brothers? The answer awaits in the next episode. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and leave a comment if your heart is racing with the twists of this story. Thank you for watching. See you in the next chapter.
Xin chào tất cả mọi người. Cảm ơn mọi người rất nhiều vì mọi người đã dành thời gian quý báu của mình để theo dõi video. Mọi người ơi, nếu như mọi người yêu thích hai nhân vật James và Diệp và muốn biết được câu chuyện tình yêu của họ sẽ tiếp diễn như thế nào và sẽ đến được như đâu, thì mọi người hãy cố gắng đón xem những tập tiếp theo mọi người nhé. Và kênh mình thì sẽ ra các tập theo điều độ, ngày nào mình cũng sẽ ra. Và mọi người hãy đăng ký kênh, sau đó bật chuông thông báo để không bỏ lỡ bất kỳ video nào mà khi kênh mình vừa ra nha. Mọi người nếu như mà yêu quý cũng như là ủng hộ kênh thì mọi người hãy chia sẻ video để cho những người khác cùng biết, cũng như là like video và hãy để lại ý kiến đóng góp để cho kênh mình ngày càng trở nên hoàn thiện và tốt hơn. Và mình xin chúc mọi người một ngày mới vui vẻ và hạnh phúc, và rất mong lại được gặp lại mọi người trong những video tiếp theo nha. Và tiếp tục chúng ta sẽ đến với câu chuyện của James và Diệp ở những video tiếp sau. Và bây giờ xin chào tạm biệt mọi người và hẹn gặp lại ở những video sau nha.